G'day. Alright, my name is Mark and I made this press. Received a heap of comments on a certain part of this press, which you may have seen by the thumbnail, whether it is going to handle the strength of the shoulder vise that I have doing all the clamping. Now, more than happy to receive all the comments and the feedback. I'm learning, just like a lot of you are as well. So maybe this video will be a little bit helpful. I am going to put this to the test. I'm going to try and break the double brided joints. Let me put it together first. So here it is. It's the Shinboninator 3000. What was the intention of this particular press? In short, I'm getting into the lathe and I've been starting with segmented bowls. Now, all of these rings, they need to be super flat, super smooth. So as I stack those up, it only needs a small amount of clamping pressure to get a bit of glue squeeze out and let me see what's going on as I align all those rings. Before this, I would use a heap of F-clamps. It was a little bit more fiddly, a little bit more slow, and not a very economical use of the clamps. The end goal is to make things like this. And again, anything that I'm putting onto the lathe has to have a beautiful flat surface. I don't want any room for failure on the lathe. So pour glue up is where I'm going to get failure. This is where this comes in. Now, what this vise is not for is pressing broken skateboards. Where not all these skateboards line up perfectly. So it needs a lot of persuasion when you're gluing these together. That's why I made the Pony Press 1.0, and then I've also got the Pony Press 2.0. I'm going to use these skateboards to help me test out this press. I don't think I will ever press anything that requires any more downward pressure than these broken skateboards. So I'm going to see if it can indeed hold up. Originally, I was going to put dowel through this, and that would indeed make this corner super strong to oppose any action that way. Because I'm a bit of a ham-fisted bloke who is a little bit rough on tools, I wanted to make a press that is fit for purpose. I got to this stage and I thought that is a lot of gluing surface area. There is 5 fingers in this double brided joint. That in itself is going to be far stronger than the pressure I want to put down on the press. Now, visually on the end, these joints don't look perfect. However, if you go back and watch the video on how I made it, you'll see that I'd have to do a fair bit of work to make these fit. I know that there is a very good bond on most of the surface area in this double bridal joint. I think it's going to be pretty strong. I'll show you the other side. So not the world's greatest looking joinery. This is a piece of woodshop furniture and I have used hardwood pallets. There are some imperfections on the end of the timber, which has made the joint look a little bit more shit. But again, I think it's going to be pretty strong. This is a shoulder vise. So we've got a mechanical amount of pressure versus tight bond. We've also got form ply under here. So another point of weakness may actually be the pressure that is exerted on that. So only now thinking about doing this test, I'm wondering if that has the potential to break. So I will stop prior to that falling off, reinforce it if I have to. Okay, I am going to try and tighten the shit out of this thing and see what happens. So that first crack was my weak point down the bottom. I might try and reinforce this so we can continue to press down on the screws. This is still the same Shinboninator 3000, it's just turned around. He's over here. Here we go again. Oh, alright, just heard a bang. Don't know what it was. There's no cracks in the glue lines anywhere. But I'm still not hearing any cracks. So again, maybe I should have filled these up with some putty just to see if it actually separated. However, that one looks the same. I'll have to go back to the start of the video and actually have a look at how big that void was. It sort of looks like it's opened up a bit, but again, there's no change to any of these glue lines. It's still quite flush along there. This was probably the worst corner joint out of the two. We'll keep going. I think the next thing that you hear go pop. Okay. I was going to say it was going to be my poo-poo valve, which it turns out it actually was, because I was not ready for that. All right, let's try and find what's happened. Okay, the double brighted joints, they're still fine, if you ask me. Okay, I can't see what that crack was. Potentially that was just a skateboard giving way. I'll keep going. I'll hang about. One of these screw heads, and again, these are only pretty flimsy timber screws because I didn't want to over-engineer it. It's actually throwing the head off the screw. Alright, stand by. I think we should just call it, because I do love this press. It's nice and chunky, it's really cool. It was only $50 to make because I used pallet wood that I found. As far as pressing these skateboards, at the moment they were not laid together nicely, so a good glue up was probably not going to be guaranteed anyway. But there is an enormous amount of pressure on those, some to the point where they're now almost flat. I'm not going to go ahead and put dowels in here. These bridle joints are not the weakest point of this vise by any means. They have not moved. I'm going to call that a big success. More than happy to keep fielding comments about whether or not this needs it. However, for the intended purpose of these joints, it's gold. So if you can imagine this as a piece of furniture, a single bridle joint has got a huge amount of gluing surface with a nice tight joint. It's going to be nice and strong. This one, it's got all the pressure of this shoulder vise on it, and they haven't failed. Okay, so the only actual casualty, where is it? Which you can't see now because it's closed up, but this bottom part has failed. There is a crack, runs across the first two pallet slats. I can reinforce that easy enough, make some little shoes, remake the base to fit the new height, and I think I can just carry on from there. So, all right, I'm definitely done now. Please subscribe. I don't normally do experiments. I just make stuff in my shed with everything you can see here. Okay, see you later.